Oh, let me fix that. There we go. What's up, guys? So I'm going to start off tonight with the 5 reads from last week that I didn't get done because I was traveling. Ooh, these cards be stiffy. So if you would like to get on the list for tonight, there are placements left. I have 5 from last week, and we'll start on tonight. And I am going to go through them kind of, well, I'm not going to fuck around. Let's say that. I'm not going to fuck around. So, I am not live on YouTube because I don't know what's been going on lately with YouTube, but it seems like the last few times I've tried to go live on YouTube, there's been issues with the internet. So I got to figure that out in the morning before tomorrow night's Reiki, yes? So the first person on my list tonight is Christie Milner. My first 5 are Christie, Courtney, Richard, Lesa, and Jacob. All right. How is everybody's day? Do we have a good Wednesday? It's weird it's Wednesday. Isn't it? It's weird. It's weird. All right. Ready, Christy? So the first one, you flung out and it landed kind of upside down and whopper-jawed like this. And this is the shitful shadow work side. Then you have the boogeyman bullshit. I love this one. And then you had 2 come out. You have fucked above, fucked below, and fucked within. And then you have FU, Buddha, enlightenment sucks. All right. I love these cards. They're so crazy. So here's the thing, Christy. I also love that that's 17 and 18 over here together. That's weird. Okay. This one came out like this. Flung out, spun around a little bit. If it was like this, it would mean that the shadow work is completely over. But the fact that it's kind of whopper-jawed a little bit like that tells me that you're going to be kind of out of whack for a little bit. I would not be surprised to know that you have been in a just angry mode. Just angry mode for the last couple of days. The Shitful Shadow Work side card usually talks about trying to find balance between good and bad. With it being almost upside down, villain. Here's what that's going to cause, though. Because you have this intensity to you. You have this, I mean, kind of raw, unfiltered irritation, anger aspect. And this is the boogeyman bullshit. When we're in a spot that we do not care what we say, when we're in a spot that we do not care if we let things out where your throat chakra is wide open, where you're just angry at the fucking world, that's the time when our fears get let go. That's the time when our fears are completely word vomited everywhere. So the problem with this sliding downward like this is that you're going to have to be careful what comes out of your face this week. You just are. You just are. Because having the villain switch kind of opened, tripped, wide up, on, whatever, wide up, I don't know what the fuck that is. I've been having some interesting wordy word things going on. I'm just letting y'all know. You're going to hurt somebody's feelings. You're going to hurt somebody's feelings. But the good thing that comes with this release of fears is that it's also allowing you to say things that have been held in there for too long. These 2 cards right here. This is the FU card, enlightenment sucks, and this is basically fucked all the way around. When these 2 cards pop up, it means that you've had a big epiphany. You've had a little bit of an enlightenment. You've had a lot of things happen where you are not only wide open, but I'm not going to lie. When we start to level up, there's great aspects of that and there's shitty aspects of that. The great aspects, we all love them because those are great. They're fun. They're happy. They make us feel good. But when the shitty aspects come up, when the aspects, and this is the main one that bothers people. When you start to level up, you start to realize that there are a lot of people that can't go with you. There are a lot of people that will never be able to follow you. They may not be able to go with you, but they could always follow. But there's a lot of people that they can't follow you. They might way later on down the road, but right now in this moment, they're never going to be able to go beyond or above where they currently are. Something in their path, something this time has made it to where they're not ever going to be on a path where they can be enlightened. And when you realize that there are people that you have to leave behind, it fucking sucks. When you realize that there are people that you have now grown so far apart from, that you're not ever going to be able to talk to them, speak to them, enjoy them the way you used to. You're not ever going to be on the same page with them. You might agree on a certain topic, like you might agree that the back of this card is mainly yellow, but you're going to see it as one thing and they're going to see it as another. Whereas you see this as a tool that can help you figure out where you're going. They see it as a piece of paper. Do you see the difference? So, while I'm glad that the shadow work stuff is over for you, Christy, and I'm glad that you've had a shift and a level up, and I'm glad that you're seeing through a lot of bullshit, I hate it at the same time because when the release of fears happens, there's always someone's feelings we hurt. There's always someone's feelings we hurt. And when all of this comes up, when we realize that as we're recentering ourselves after the anger outburst, there's so much that can't continue to move on with us. Our bubble is separated from everybody else's bubble. I know it doesn't seem like it right now in the moment when all of this is going on, but I promise that it is for, I don't want to say the higher good. It's for the betterment of you on your path. Okay? Like I said, it doesn't mean it doesn't suck. And to be honest, the person that you're going to hurt their feelings this week with this shit, next week they'll understand. Does that make sense? Sometimes we have people say things to us that we really and truly need to hear really badly, but in the moment we don't want to hear it because it's calling us on our own bullshit. So it's going to be a little bit of a bumpy road this week. A lot of a bumpy road this week. Just so you know. Just so you know. One thing about enlightenment and one thing about being able to walk down your path, the one you're supposed to be on, is that it's fucking lonely. It's fucking lonely. You're going to lose friends. You're going to lose relationships. You're going to lose people that you've known since you were a kid. It's lonely. It's lonely. And I want you to remember that not everybody is ever going to be in a spot where they can understand. Just so you know. Courtney H, you're next. I think these cards are a little irritated at me because they've been in my suitcase. You have Devil in Drag, Identity Crisis. You have Angel Anarchy, Move Away from Control. And then you have Black Holes Suck, Don't Let Darkness Hold You Back. I love this card. That one cracks me up. These cards are awesome. Okay. Everything right now, Courtney, has you in this crazy, topsy-turvy, I don't know what's going on. I don't know where I am. I don't know where I'm, like, everything has you feeling like you're a hamster in a ball and someone's kicking the ball down the hallway. Like you're just tumbling all along with it. You have no idea who you are anymore, who you want to be, who you thought you were. Like you don't even remember who you thought you were going to be this year at this point. And I understand. Everybody is feeling this way. Everybody is feeling this craziness right now. But yours is a little different in that you're moving away from a very controlled way of looking at life into a more open and free way of looking at life. And that brings epiphany after epiphany after epiphany. And the problem is when those epiphanies happen, we get frustrated because we get angry at ourselves and thinking, oh, fuck, like, why didn't I see that before? Why didn't I see that 10 years ago? Why didn't I see it yesterday? Why don't I see it now? Or why am I just seeing it now? This last card, I find it interesting that both of these two are red. Like this one's a little darker red on the outside than that one, but both of them are red. And this one over here is a deep, deep purple. Because these two are identity crisis and moving away from this controlled narrative of how you see your own life. This one, however, when you start to move away from that controlled narrative and you really start to think, why were you always this way? It's like learning the truth about a lot of things in history and realizing that the things you always believed in are not the things that are actually real, that are real life. This is actually what happened. When someone else controls the narrative, this fucking sleeve is pissing me off. When someone else controls the narrative and then you finally see through that narrative, there's a lot of anger there. There's a lot of anger there. But it covers up the fear, it covers up the hate, it covers up the sadness, it covers up the betrayal. And the problem is when all of that happens, then you have this thing where you get this deep melancholy, you get this deep sadness inside, and it feels like you're being sucked into some big old dark hole, some black hole, some dark spot. And it can be hard to not sink into that. Don't let that black hole, don't let that darkness swallow you. Don't let the anger and the betrayal of seeing through a lot of this control hurt you to a level that you stop showing the goodness. I know that it sucks. I do. And here's the other sucky part. Once you hit this, it happens a lot. Once you have this breakthrough like this with these epiphanies, it's going to start to happen a lot. A lot. Within 6 months, you're going to look back and you're not going to recognize who you used to be. Within a year, you're going to have no idea how you ever were that person or how you believed this or how you believed that. 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. Even hearing your own name is going to be weird. I promise that it gets easier. And I promise that if you can keep yourself from getting sucked into the black hole, you're going to come out a much stronger, more well-rounded person on the other side. I promise. It doesn't mean this darkness isn't going to get to you from time to time, but don't let it keep you. Okay? Does that make sense, Courtney? All right. Richard is next. Told y'all I was going to get through these. Oh. Richard just wants to pull out 3 cards all at once. Okay. The Cracked Crystal. Time to heal yourself. Dead Dingo's Donga. Time for emotional healing. I always have to slow down when I read that one. And then you had Dragon Load of Dense Shit. Time for an energy clearing. I love that this is a blue dragon, and I love that it's the number 13. This card cracks me up. Richard. Okay. You've been taking on way, way, way too much, my friend. When you have the Cracked Crystal card, even though that's, you know, time to heal yourself, it's because you're taking on too much weight. You have taken on so much weight that you've broken. You've taken on too much of everybody else's pain and sorrow and energy and bullshit that it's caused you to break. It's caused you to crack. And I know that people are like, "Oh, I would never break," or whatever. We all do. We all do. We all do. We all have a breaking point. If you take a stick and it's, let's just say that it's super, super flimsy, right? It's still got a lot of life in it. You can bend it and bend it and bend it and bend it and bend it. Eventually, you're going to bend it enough that it's going to start to break. Even if it doesn't snap, it's going to start to fringe. We've all seen those sticks that they'll fringe like this, right? We all have a breaking point. My friend, you've reached yours. You've reached yours. Because all 3 of these cards talk about healing. So, time to heal yourself. You need to take a step back from the people that are, I don't want to say depending on you because that's not the right term, but the ones that are like depending on you to be their emotional everything. Does that make sense? We have people that depend on us, like family, friends, job, etc., that we freely give ourselves to them, right? Our kids, our parents, our siblings, you know, the people that we love. We freely give our energy, our time, everything to. But there's other people out there that they take it. They don't just ask. They take. They take your energy, they take your time, they hold you hostage on the phone, they hold you hostage at work. Like they do everything that they can to siphon your life force out of you, whether they realize they're doing it or not. It's the ones that they might owe you $700, but they're going to come ask for another 100 tomorrow. Things like that. They know that you're not going to push them to do whatever to give those things back. So you've hit the breaking point, and it's time that you've got to kind of push the door shut on all of those people that are just taking the shit from you. This is the emotional healing card. When we hit the breaking point, you've got to have a time where you just have an emotional release, whether this is anger, whether it's crying, whatever it is. And you know what? Anger is a natural thing, and it's naturally something that we have to let out. If you keep it inside and you just shove it down, it's going to start festering, and then it's going to be a horrible, horrible outcome when it finally is let go of. Please, please, please. Find a way to let go of whatever these pent-up emotions are. Even if they're just, even if it's resentment from something and someone that you don't talk to and you haven't talked to in years, you have to let it go because it's causing issues. This one, however, we're going to talk about in a different way. When it comes to energy clearing, emotional healing you can kind of do for yourself. I am a big proponent of speaking to somebody, therapy, etc. But energy clearing is a little different. I would start by clearing your space. I would start by listening to one of the energy clearing things on YouTube and sleeping to some of the guided meditations. This one little piece of hair is pissing me off. Sleeping to some of the guided meditations. Then I would advise, if you have a local shop or if you have anybody that can come over and help cleanse your space, even if they're brand new to what they're doing, you need to have someone help you with a very serious, deep energy cleanse. Here's why I say, even if they're brand new, because your space, yourself, your guides, the energy that's around you, etc., they're all used to you. They're all used to you. They're used to the way that you do your cleanses. They're used to all the things you're going to use. So I highly advise switching it up all the time. But when you bring someone new in, even if they're brand new, even if they just learned on TikTok yesterday how to cleanse a space, it's a different energy. It's a different energy than you. It's something different that everything in that space is not used to. So when you have someone else come in and cleanse all of that energy that's never been in your space before and done it, it's going to have a big impact. It doesn't matter if they've been doing it one day or 10 years. Obviously, the people that have been doing it 10 years are going to go through and but even the person that just learned yesterday, their energy is going to bring something different into your space. Okay? I hope that makes sense, Richard. Have somebody else clear your space while, after you've or before you've done it. I would say after. You do it the way you normally do it, and then let someone else come in and do it. Okay? Is that you there, Richard? I'll have it on YouTube this evening for you. Lesa G is next. Lesa and then Jacob. Can I do some videos on how to cleanse the space? Absolutely. Dude, everything was too much today. I looked at my kid earlier and I was like, how the fuck is it 8 o'clock? Like, how is it almost 8 o'clock? How is it Wednesday? Like, I feel like I know I got things done today, but in no way did I get done the things I needed to get done. It's weird. It's weird. All right, Lesa. You also have the cracked crystal and time to heal yourself. And then you have a fancy fat fucker and get healthy. And then you have the devil and drag and identity crisis. And then black holes suck. Don't let the darkness pull you down. Okay. This is, oh, okay. I see what's going on. So let me guess. You suddenly are craving shit that you haven't eaten in years or you've never liked before in your life. You also are finding out that your body is committing mutiny when you start to eat certain foods now and you're getting sick all the fucking time. Like sick of your stomach. It's just bullshit. This happens when we are going through any kind of ascension for ourselves. Why I'm yawning, I don't know. Probably because I need to breathe. But when we go through any kind of ascension for ourselves, we have these issues with food. I wish I could say, oh, do this or eat this or whatever. It doesn't matter. You're going to crave stuff that you've never ever liked before. You're going to crave stuff that is really, really good for you. You're going to start eating less salt. You're going to start eating less, you know, condiments and stuff. It's weird. It's weird. When your whole life you've dumped salt and ketchup and pepper all over French fries, not anymore. It'll be just plain French fries, and then it'll be no French fries. It's so fucking weird. This is the time, Lesa, to start changing yourself physically, to start changing what you eat, how you eat, when you, like changing everything about what goes into your body. When you guys, and this is for Lesa, but also for everybody, when you guys start to notice that certain foods are making you sick, when you start to notice that you can't eat red meat anymore, or when you start to notice that you're craving squash and you've always hated squash your entire life, it's because your body, you have shifted. You already know you've shifted. But now your meat sack is catching up with that shift. Sometimes we shift so much that we don't realize that our body is still like, way the fuck back here. Like we're shifting like this and it starts to do like that. So we may be way up here and our body is still here. Well, our body eventually has to start catching up. And when your body starts catching up, then you become that person that you probably made fun of for so long. Like, oh, they're vegan. Oh, they only eat this. Yeah, I'm that person. I'm that person now. I used to kind of laugh at some people. And yeah, I'm the person people laugh at now. I'm just saying. Just saying. Your body will go through cravings just like pregnancy as well. There are times you're going to want so much vitamin C, it's not even funny. And then there's, you know, like citrus fruits and stuff. And then there's other times you're going to crave like fresh vegetables. Like it's weird. It's weird. But Lesa, this is a time, this is almost like a warning in a way of getting your temple, your meat sack, better. Because the identity crisis and the don't let darkness hold you back tell me that you're fixing to go through another shift. You're fixing to go through another level up. So you need to get your body caught up pretty quickly before you get even further away from the physical self. When you get too far away, when your physical self is here and you're here, that's not a big gap to catch up, right? Like you can catch that up pretty quickly. But if your physical self is only like here and then you do this, now it's even further. So what's going to happen is there's going to be a snap and your physical self is going to suddenly catch up to your spiritual self. The problem is when that happens, it usually means that your body's going to go through an intense self cleanse, and just let me say, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. It's not fun. It kind of fucking sucks. And it's like you are sick for weeks until this is over with. So get your meat sack ready. Start eating better, start treating it better. And sometimes treating it better is going to bed on time. Like my sleep schedule, I had got it on track. I was doing really good with it. But since I've come home, I hit snooze for like an hour every fucking morning. So, Lesa, just know that there's another level up coming your way, and you need to make sure that you get your meat sack ready for it. Okay? My cute little Oregon mug I picked up on the way. All right, Jacob. It's funny, I never really had an appreciation for vegan food until about longer than that. I'm going to say really about 15 years ago. My sister started working for a lady. If you guys ever come to Tulsa, there's a place downtown called Elote, E-L-O-T-E. And that's where the Puffy Tacos live in Tulsa. But the lady that owns that is vegan, and her recipes are phenomenal. Her food is phenomenal. Like it's fantastic. It's fantastic. I went to, and I bartended down there for a while, and I went to one of the employee get-togethers, and she brought some food, some dishes that she makes at home and stuff. It was delightful. It was delightful. Just saying what I'm saying. I'm just saying what I'm saying. So, all right. Jacob, are you ready? You know, these cards keep coming out, and I'm starting to wonder, because I did shuffle. Because you have, this is Fancy Fat Fucker kind of upside down, but then you have the Cracked Crystal, and then you have the Identity Crisis. I feel like these cards keep coming out. I'm shuffling, and it's, to be honest, I'm almost tempted to draw different cards, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna add to it. No drama llama, find your inner peace. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So these are a little different. We're going to leave that one right there. The Get Healthy card for you literally came out kind of almost upside down. It's all whopper jawed. But then you have the Time to Heal Yourself, and then you have Identity Crisis. Then we have No Drama Llama, which I drew and put on top of the, I put it on top of the Cracked Crystal, and this is Find Your Inner Peace. Eat the ice cream, Jacob. Eat the ice cream, eat the pizza, do the things, sleep in too late, stay up too late. You need to find your inner peace again, because something has got you so off kilter. Something has got you questioning everything about who Jacob is. Something has got you feeling like you're broken, feeling like you're about to break. And so you've been moving so far away from who you are without the universe pulling you along. It's like you've been forcefully pushing yourself forward. And you don't need to. Right now, I'm literally going to say for the rest of this week, stop pushing yourself so hard. School is one thing. You know what I mean? There's always homework. There's always papers. There's always lectures. There's always labs. Like there's always something going on, right? But physically and outside of school, you need to give yourself a break. You're trying to push yourself forward too much to the point that you just need to kind of let go. You just kind of need to let go for the rest of the week. Like I said, eat the ice cream, eat the pizza, do the, stay up too late, whatever. You need to find your inner peace again. You need to be the no drama llama. I would also make it very clear, if you have people around you that are super drama filled, not this week. Not this week. Not this week. This is a week that if they want to call you, if they want to hang out, if they want to whatever, you need to make an excuse that you're busy. You're busy. You're having a Jacob week. You're having a mental health week. Whatever it is you need to tell them. My spiritual advisor told me to tell you whatever it is you need to say, because they are part of the reason that you're having the problems that you are. So give yourself permission this week, Jacob, to literally just let go a little bit. Okay? I hope that makes sense. We're going to put these cards, we're going to put them in the deck in weird places so this doesn't happen again. But I understand why that was. I understand why that was the way it was. I understand why that was the way it was. All right. That is annoying. So we're going to go ahead and go, turn that off. see how many tickets are on my list. I'm actually going to cut my list down slightly. Well, you know what? I'm going to leave it for what it is. I'm going to leave it for what it is. All right. Kayce, you are first. Make sure I'm holding the deck right side up. I was like, you better look, bitch. Hey, Heidi. I've got 2 boxes going out for you. I didn't realize that I had a whole bunch of boxes sitting in here that just needed my eyes, just needed a final thing. So I have several boxes going out. They won't go out tomorrow. They'll go out Friday, just so you guys know. The shitful shadow side. Balance your good, bad, and ugly. Y'all watched me put the cards in. Black holes suck. Don't get caught in the depressive darkness. And, thankfully, pull your head in. Show compassion and gratitude. It's kind of... I'm looking at the numbers as I turn these cards over. You have 3, 4, 4, 3, 3. So you have 3, 3, 4, and 3, 4. Okay. All right, then. That's weird. 3, 4, 4, 3, 3. Okay. Got caught up in that for a minute. Miss Kayce. Or excuse me, Kayce. I shouldn't say Miss. Kayce. The shitful shadow side card is all about balance. Because when we have shadow work that pops up, man, we can feel like the biggest fucking bag of crap. Like, it's funny. Whenever we're doing an intensive amount of shadow work, in the moment, we feel like the worst human ever. In the moment, we feel like we have fucked everything up. Excuse me. We don't understand how we are just now realizing that we hurt someone when we were 6. We don't understand how we're just now realizing that that relationship that blew up, that was partly our fault too. Like, we get in this shadow work mode and we're like, oh my God, I'm a fuck up. Like, that's all we can think about is how all the bad shit that we've done. But the thing is, that's not all that you are. Shadow work is great, but you can't do it all the time. I cannot tell you guys how many people I have begged and pleaded with and said, hey, you can't do shadow work all the time. You will hurt yourself. You will. You don't go to therapy 24 hours a day. You don't go to therapy even every single day of the week. Even if you're in a rehab facility, you're not in therapy 24 hours a day. You're not in therapy 8 hours a day. You see what I'm saying? You cannot do shadow work all the time. You will hurt yourself. You will hurt yourself. There are some shadow work apps out there that I'm just going to say don't trust shadow work apps. I've seen some that put a widget on your phone and give you a prompt for the day. They're not prompts. They're downright abusive. They're downright abusive. Some of the things that I've seen, When it comes to our shadow side, for those of you guys that don't know what shadow work is integrating the dark parts of yourself in with the light to make you a whole person. So taking all of the biases, all the stereotypes, all the fears, all the angers, all of the things that we keep inside because we don't want society to see our shitty part of ourselves, and everyone has one. Everyone has one, including the Pope, the Dalai Lama, Mother Teresa. Everyone has a shadow side. When we start to let that out and we start to integrate that into the light part of us to become a whole person, it sucks. But it's extremely rewarding at the same time. This is how you grow as a human. This is how you grow emotionally, mentally. This is how you grow. But when the shadow side pops up, and when we start learning how to do shadow work and doing it more and more and more and more, you have to be careful that you don't get stuck in this. And I want to just remind you again, everybody has a shadow side. Everybody has done something shitty in their life. Every single buddy, every single person, every single buddy, every single person has fucked up a relationship or a friendship or something. Every single one of us has these stupid little biases that we were born with. Every one of us. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter where you're from. Everyone. You have to work to heal those things, and you have to work to move past them and understand yourself and the world and understand why you are the way you are so you can grow. When we get into the shadow work aspect, we tend to be almost self-absorbed in a way because we're doing so much shadow work and working on ourselves that we don't pay attention to the world around us. And that's where this card comes in. This is the pull your head in, show some more compassion and gratitude. When y'all are going through shadow work, when you're starting down shadow work or whatever it is, you have to be compassionate. You have to be nice to yourself. And showing gratitude and compassion to other people is one of the best ways to combat falling in a hole of bad shit. Because it forces you to talk to other people, to be around other people, and to do something nice for other people. When you're doing shadow work, that's the last thing you want to do is be nice. But I promise it will help you more than you guys realize. Okay? Okay? All right. Miss Suzanne Horn is next. For those of you guys just joining, if you were on my list for last week, your reads were one of the first 5 that I did, and they will be on YouTube later. I like it now that they're shuffling better. All right. The cracked crystal and time to heal. Y'all watched me fucking shuffle. Y'all watched me shuffle. Y'all watched me shuffle. This is identity crisis. The devil. This is killing me. This is killing me. I'm afraid to even look at this one. Thank God. Zombie wants brains. Strengthen your boundaries. I'm not going to lie. If it was going to be one of the ones that had been pulled repeatedly, the falling in the dark hole, the black hole, I was just going to be done. I was going to be like, you know what? Here I even talked about how great the cards were shuffling now. I get that you're mad at me. I get it. I do. But God damn it, man. So we're going to do this. We're going to put some lotus on it. It's going to be great and fantastic and fun. All right, Suzanne. The cracked crystal. The identity crisis and the strengthen your boundaries. I know that you've been through a lot, and I know that you've been dealing with a lot of emotions. I know that, bitch, I know that you've been dealing with a lot of anger, a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear. And I think that this is something I've pointed out to you before, because as it's about to come out of my face, I'm like, I'm pretty sure that I've said this to you before. In the midst of all of that stuff, you still have to be nice to Suzanne. You still have to be nice to Suzanne. It doesn't matter how old you are. Inside somewhere is still that little 5-year-old part of you that is all of the fears you've ever felt, all of the fears you've ever had in your life, just sitting there in a little ball in the corner. You still have to be nice to you. You still have to take care of those fears. You still have to nurture that inner child aspect of you. There's some part of you that hasn't been touched yet as far as healing goes. And sometimes that can be hard to figure out. So what I'm going to recommend is this. Sit back this evening and just kind of think about all of the different big things that you've done to help yourself heal, okay? Whether this is, all right, once a week, I take an hour and I take a hot shower or a hot bath and I just sit and read a book or whatever. You know, I have a self-care ritual once a week. Once a month, I, go take myself to lunch or whatever it is. Whatever it is. And in doing so, when you're looking at all the big things that you've done, there's going to be a lot of little tiny things that pop up. Okay? So I want to answer that question real quick. I'm sorry, Suzanne. This is a great question. Which bitch asked, can someone block you from being able to meditate, or can trauma of a loved one past maybe block? No one can block you. And if you've lost somebody, that's an intense thing. You can end up blocking yourself from doing that. People can also play mind games with you. I've seen people on TikTok say, I can block someone from traveling. No, you can't. No, you can't. I'm going to stand on that with my whole chest. No, you can't. Fight me. No one can block you from meditating. No one can block you from traveling. No one can block you from that. Now, we can block ourselves. Losing a kid is something so intense that very few people understand. It's something that it blocks us from a lot, from the colors of life in general. It blocks us from being able to see the world in any type of way that we used to see it. I promise that you'll be able to meditate. I promise that you'll be able to connect. I promise. It just might take a little bit of time. It just might take a little bit of time. What I'm going to recommend is this. Don't push yourself too hard. Okay? Don't push yourself too hard. Spend a little bit of time every day just with you. Just with you. And you're going to feel really mean when you do this, but just hear me out, okay? Even if it's 5 minutes, okay? You don't have to sit and try to meditate. You don't have to do anything. To be honest, what I recommend is finding some stupid, easy puzzle game on your phone. 5 minutes. Set a timer. 5 minutes. Every time your brain starts to veer off into something else, whether it's work, whether it's home, whether it's people around you, whether it's the loved one that you lost, pull yourself back and reset that timer. So let's say you're 2.5 minutes in and all of a sudden you think, oh man, I don't know if I got my husband's work clothes ready for tomorrow. That timer starts over. That timer starts over. The only thing you're allowed to focus on right then is you. How do your feet feel right now? How are your fingers? How's your nose? How's your chest? How's your tummy? Is your butt sore because you're sitting in the weird way? Do you see what I'm saying? Focus on just you, just your meat sack. Not emotions, not feelings, none of those things. Just your physical self. And that stupid little puzzle game. The reason that I say a stupid, easy puzzle game is because those are kind of mindless things. They might irritate us and be like, bitch, I could pass this level. But the taking the screw out, the match games, the mahjong, whatever. Do something like that. Okay? But you need to make it a point that you concentrate on only yourself, your meat sack, and 5 minutes out of a day is not too much to ask for just you. Okay? It's not, I promise. And I like Heidi's comment. My brain wouldn't be able to do that. It's very hard. It's very hard. But doing that and training yourself to do that, I promise it'll make a humongous difference in your inner peace and you finally being able to connect and meditate again. I promise. It takes will, it takes willpower, and it takes self-compassion. But forcing yourself to breathe and calm down and not worry about other people for 5 minutes, I promise, it'll make a difference. You'll look back in 3 weeks and go, oh my God, that was so easy. You'll have a moment when you take that first 5 minutes that you actually make it all the way through the 5 minutes. The first time you make it all the way through that, you'll want to get up and fucking dance around. And anybody else in the house or the room is not going to understand why you're so excited. I'm just saying. Getting lost in a good book is just as good. So, sorry, Miss Suzanne, I had to pause there, but that was a question I felt like needed answering. You are so welcome, sweetheart. You are so welcome. And I'm so sorry that you lost your kid. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I wish I could just give you a big hug. Yeah. That when I saw that, I knew that had to be answered. And let me reiterate this too. It's not on the subject, but it is. When you see people on TikTok and social media that say that they can block you from that, no, they can't. No, they can't. All the way shenanigans and malarkey. All the way shenanigans and malarkey. I guarantee you, I've heard it. I've heard people say that no, you can't. No, you can't. Unless you are standing there right next to me physically 24 hours a day with an air horn. No, you can't. No, you can't. Con person. Liar. Beginner. I said what I said. Miss Suzanne, you... I don't even remember what I was saying to Suzanne now. There's some part of you, Suzanne, that is still reeling from all the trauma. There's some part of you that is still having this identity crisis of who you are, where you're going, where you want to go. It's still there. It's still there. And I'm going to tell you a secret. You ready? We all have that. We all have that. I used to know exactly where it was I was going and what I was doing. Not so much now, because the universe was like, hey, now you're doing this. But you do need to set some boundaries. Set some boundaries with you. Set some boundaries with the world. Set some boundaries with your brain. Because usually it's our brains that fuck us up more than anything. Y'all, as stupid as it is, I cannot speak highly enough of having a fucking whiteboard. I can't speak highly enough of it. Having a fucking whiteboard. Because when you have a whiteboard and you can see it on your wall, you can see it every single day in your office or your bathroom or your kitchen or wherever. And you have your goals on it. You have your goals for the week or your goal just for today or your goals for 10 years. It doesn't matter. When you have that and you can see it continually in front of you, you will start setting boundaries a lot. You will start setting boundaries to, well, with yourself and with other people like that. I promise. I promise. Set yourself some super easy boundaries that you can check off really quickly, because then you get a confidence boost. It's like a little bit of mental magic with yourself. To be honest, Suzanne, I really think that you think this is a big hurdle that you have to overcome, but it's like one of those speed bumps from the 80s. Like, it's so worn down at this point. It's just like, you don't even know it's a speed bump. You thought you just maybe hit a little bit of a chug hole. But I think that you see it in your mind as some massive high hurdle, but it's not. It's just barely a little tiny, like, that's it. It's a 40-year-old speed bump. Okay? I promise. Lacy B. You ready? Let me refresh my list here. I think I need to do a night where I just answer yes or no questions, and I'm brutally honest with you, and you're not going to like my answers. What y'all think? Maybe I need to be Lurleen. No, because some dumbass will report me. All right, Lacy. I don't want to get in trouble again. Maybe I just need to do some videos as Lurleen. All right, here's my list so far, okay? Or who I still have to go. Lacy, Heidi, Lenzie, Jennifer, Dawn, Valerie, and Talise. And if you didn't hear your name, then I've already done you. If you were on last week, y'all were my first 5. I've already done Kayce and Suzanne, and now we're on Lacy. And I'll refresh in a minute because sometimes it does a holding pattern because the site is stupid. All right. Ready? You have dragon load of dense shit. Time for an energy clearing. Arsehole ancestors. Time for ancestral clearing. Oh, we're fixing to talk. We're fixing to talk, Lacy. Dickweed death. New beginnings are needed. We're fixing to talk so much. Okay. Girl, you need to have your entire house nuked. Seriously. You need to have it energetically nuked. Order you or go down to your local store and get you a bundle of Yerba Santa. Not Yerba Santa and sage, just straight Yerba Santa. Okay? And here's the thing. Yerba Santa is like a nuke. It's an energetic nuke. It will take everything down to the bare bones. So preemptively apologize to the good spirits that are there, to the good ancestors that have your back, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, whoever it is. Apologize to the good ones like, hey, I'm going to kick you out for just a minute, but I promise I'll invite you back in. You that aren't here for any good reason, you can fuck off. I sound like a fucking bird. Do your space exactly how you would do if you're walking through with sage or cedar or incense. Okay? If you can't burn something, like let's say that you're in an apartment building and you can't burn something. You can get Yerba Santa oil. Usually you have to order it online. Order some and put a couple drops in a spray bottle. Spray that bitch all over the place. Yerba Santa. It's a nuke. Okay? But here's what you want to do afterwards. This will take care really of these first 2 things. But we're going to talk about these arsehole ancestors. So it will take care of the first 2 things. Next, you need to go through with sage or cedar or cedar. If I'm doing Yerba Santa, then I go back through usually with desert sage or blue sage, and then I go through with cedar. So Yerba Santa is a nuke. We're now down to ground zero. Everything is like smooth. There's no energy. It's neutral. Well, we want to bring the good in, right? We don't want the bad shit to come back in. That's where sage comes in. It doesn't matter what kind of sage it is, okay? Sage is sage. Sage will do two things. One, it will cleanse the air in your house. In other words, sage is antibacterial, antiviral, antimicrobial. It will clear out all the negative, sick crap that's in your house, like physically sick stuff. Second, it acts like a vacuum. So it pulls the good in and ensures that the bad is pushed out, okay? So now that you have this empty space and you have everything getting ready to flood back in, no. All of you over there can fuck right the fuck off. So you want to pull the good and push the bad out. Cedar, I grew up using cedar. So cedar is what's used to rededicate that area as a safe space. And like I said, if you can't burn something, that's fine. Just go get you some essential oils and, let's talk about that. I do not agree with that and I don't push that. The thing about sage is this. There are so many different types of sage. The sage bundles that you find in the store is actually Greek white sage. Greek white sage and North American white sage, they look almost identical when they're dried. Like you can't tell the difference. The white sage that's in the United States, that's indigenous to the United States, it's only found in the southern United States. Navajo, Hopi, Ute, etc. It's only found in that area. It's not found everywhere else. All the stuff that's found everywhere else are different types of sage. Desert sage, blue sage, clary sage, etc. When all the immigration started over here, Greek sage was brought. Greek sage is actually invasive. If you start to grow Greek white sage, that shit's going to take your garden over. I'm just letting you know. It's going to take your garden over. Like, just be careful. But at this point, I'm just going to let you guys know. Every single metaphysical shop out there, including the shit you can find at Walmart, at the truck stops, at metaphysical shops, unless it's a hand-wrapped bundle of sage and you have a little thing saying, I got this out of my garden, I wrapped it up myself, it all comes from the same place. It all comes from the same place. We all buy from the same two wholesalers. We do. It comes from the same place. Same place. One of the things I love is that any type of sage, it doesn't matter if it's blue, if it's Greek, if it's white sage, if it's deserts, it doesn't matter. Any type of sage is, when you burn it, there have actually been scientific studies that have found that it will kill viruses, bacteria, and microbes in the air. So right now, while everybody is sick and stuck inside because it's snowing or raining or whatever, I don't care who hates it in your house. You better be burning it. You better be burning it. It only works when it's burnt, though, unfortunately. So if you can't burn it, you're probably not going to get those things. But desert sage is actually my favorite because there is some aspect, I can't remember the little terminology for what is different about desert sage, but it looks different. Like it's more sticky, like sticks instead of leaves. But it also has a little bit of a different smell. But it's fantastic if you have migraines, if you have headaches, if you have somebody in your house that gets headaches a lot. Well, you better keep some desert sage. You better keep some desert sage. You better keep some desert sage. But yeah, most people, there's a big thing and it goes around TikTok all the time about how you can't use sage if this or this or this. Every single indigenous tribe, it doesn't matter if it's North America, South America, wherever, they all have something special that they use. They all have something special that they use. And the term smudge it's actually a white person term. It's a colonizer term. So when the pilgrims, whoever came over here and they met with the indigenous tribes and they got to see some of the practices and the smoking and so on. Every different tribe has a term in their native language for what that's called. Well, white people couldn't pronounce it, so they just started calling it smudging. So it's interesting to me when people are like, you can't say that word. And I'm like, it's a white person term. I've tried to pronounce it how they say it in Cherokee. I've tried to pronounce it how I had somebody try to teach me how they say it in Choctaw. My tongue doesn't work. I can't. Like, I can hear them say it. My brain can say it, but it doesn't come out. It doesn't come out. It's just like when you're learning. So Allie makes fun of me all the time. I promise I'm going somewhere with this. Allie makes fun of me all the time. Brody makes fun of me. Allie doesn't really. But Allie's from Ecuador, so she speaks Spanish, and she's so fast. And she said when she was learning English, she had to act like she had a potato in her mouth so she could get the sounds right. So what she told me when I started learning Spanish, or, well, when she heard me start speaking, she was like, hold your mouth thinner. She's like, hold your mouth thinner. She's like, take the potato out of your mouth. Hold your mouth thinner. You'll speak it better. So if y'all have not, here's your homework. Here's your homework. Ready? If y'all have not ever listened to any indigenous tribes' language or heard them speak, that's your homework. That's your homework. You are going to find videos all over TikTok, all over YouTube. Please go listen to it. Their languages are so beautiful. They're so pretty. They're so pretty. And when you listen to them, listen to several different types, okay? Listen to some of the indigenous tribes of the plains. Listen to some indigenous tribes of the Southwest and of the North. And just listen to all of them. They're all so, like, I have goosebumps. They're all so different, but yet it's almost like they're the same. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain it, but they're beautiful. They're beautiful. They're beautiful. They're beautiful. And so if you guys have never, ever listened to indigenous language, please go do so. Please go do so. Listen to some over in Asia. Listen to some in South America. Like, just seriously. And I'm not talking Spanish from South America. I'm talking indigenous language from South America. Just go listen. Just go listen. Go get on the indigenous side of TikTok and look at the things that they want to share publicly with you. It should be an honor to watch those things. Like, I feel like it's an honor when they share stomp dances, when they share rituals, when they share the running of the Mustangs. Like, I love that. I love that. So if you guys have never done that, that's your homework. That's your homework. Seriously. It's your homework. I was lucky in that I grew up with a family that's Cherokee, Potawatomi, and Irish mixed. It was really interesting at family gatherings. Let me just say that. So I grew up hearing this weird mix of, so my grandma, her mother's side is Potawatomi and her father's side is Cherokee. So, well, on her father's side, her grandpa married a white lady. So that's where some of the Irish comes in. So it's a hodgepodge, right? So I grew up hearing a mix of Potawatomi, Cherokee, and English together. And so there were some things she would say that sometimes I don't remember till I'm in the moment, because I was like 7 or 8. And I'll hear people on TikTok and I'm like, I've heard that. Where'd that come from? I've heard that. So yeah. So it's really interesting. I was lucky in that I also grew up, I was born in Oklahoma. I grew up in Colorado, but we were in Oklahoma all the time. And so I got to go to different dances, different practices, different rituals, like things like that as a kid. And I've learned to appreciate them. Like, they're phenomenal. No matter where you are in the United States, here's your other homework. Especially now that it's going to be spring and summer. In summer, they're everywhere, okay? Find something local to you that is to promote indigenous culture in your area. Okay? Find something. Find something. Go. If it's open to the public, go. Go. The things you see on social media are glorious and fantastic. The dances, the singing, they're fantastic. Go watch it in person. Go watch it in person. Go watch them. Go watch them. Because you'll feel it in here in a way that you're going to leave a different person. You're going to leave a different person. So if you have never, ever done that, I don't care where you are in the United States. I don't care. There are so many, y'all have no idea. Next time you're taking a road trip, pay attention to the road signs at how many reservations you pass through. You can't be in Oklahoma and not be on a reservation. Think about that. You drive through Oklahoma, you're going to drive through at least probably 4. If you're on, let's just say I-40, you're going to at least drive through 4 or 5. If you drive through Utah, if you drive through Colorado, Oregon, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, you're going to drive through reservations. You're always driving through reservations. I guarantee you, there is going to be an amazing aspect somewhere this spring or the summer, not aspect, get together, etc., that's open to the public. Go appreciate. I promise you will not leave the same. You will leave with such a deeper appreciation. Go. Okay? That's your homework. That's your homework. It's everywhere. Every single state has multiple reservations. Go. Your homework for tonight is to find you some videos. Appreciate. Okay. Let me hang on just a minute. I think it's Big Eagle. Hang on. Let me find her. Yes, Stephanie Big Eagle. She's one of my friends here on TikTok. I wish that it would pop up. Thank you. Go follow Stephanie Big Eagle. Okay? She's fantastic. I love the videos that she posts. And she posts a lot of stuff about her background, about her people. Seriously, she's a fantastic creator. I absolutely adore her. I don't talk about a lot of creators on here, but seriously, she posts a lot of the running of the Mustangs and so on, and I love it. I love it. I think she is from Indiana. Yeah. But yeah, go follow her. Get on that side of TikTok. I'm just saying. All right, back to Lacy. All right, so start with some Yerba Santa. And then bring the good in, okay? The whole ancestor thing has been coming up a lot. People don't realize that not every single ancestor you have is on your side. Not every single ancestor you have is here to help you for your highest good. Not every single ancestor you have is super great. They're not. Just like spirit guides, you have awesome ones and you have dick bags, okay? You have awesome ancestors, you have awesome spirit guides, and you have ones that are flat out big bags of flaming dog shit. And if you listen to them, they're going to cause all the problems that they can because they don't agree with what you're doing. They don't whatever. Or maybe they've just been a dick in every single life and they're a dick now. This has been coming up a lot. So when it comes to ancestors and ancestral clearings, pay attention to your ancestral altar. And let me just tell you guys, if you're like, well, I don't have one. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. If you have photos hung up of people that are your family that are alive or dead, that's an ancestor wall. That's an ancestor altar. If you have a shelf in your living room or your mantle or wherever where you have photos or goodies that are things from grandma, grandpa, your little cousin gave it to you, that's an ancestor altar. If you make dishes at the holidays or just because you miss somebody that was something that was made for you as a kid by your mom, by your grandparents, whatever, that's ancestor worship. If during the holidays you have special ornaments or special traditions that were handed down to you and you do them, that's ancestor worship. As much as everyone hates to hear it on certain sides of TikTok, that's ancestor worship. That's ancestor worship. Everyone has ancestor altars. Everyone does ancestor work. Some people just want to honor the shithead ancestors as much as they honor the good ones. I'm not saying don't honor your ancestors, but we all know, if you know anything about your past and your genealogy, you know which ancestors were pieces of shit. I said what I said. I said what I said. If you don't know, I highly, highly recommend doing the Ancestry.com thing. It's Ancestry has been around so long that there is so much populated on there now that you'll find out who your ancestors are really, really quickly. Okay? Really, really quickly. But ancestral clearings, find somebody that's very skilled in that. I don't do them. I don't do a lot of ancestor work for other people. It's just, I've never been called to. It's not my thing. So find somebody that does ancestral clearings, or find somebody that has videos on it. That's what I'm going to recommend. Okay. The Dickweed Death card. This is new beginnings are needed. Love. Clear your space. Tell your shitty ancestors to move the fuck on and start over. Okay? Okay. Can you do that if your mother was adopted? How would that work? Yes. Do the ancestry DNA. Do the ancestry DNA. All you have to do is spit. That's all you do is spit. I know there was a big conspiracy that came out where people were like, oh, well, you know, then they're going to have your DNA and blah, blah, blah. Okay. I mainly did it to find out if my asshole biological father fathered other children. To be honest, I'm still not going to be surprised if, you know, somebody messages me and is like, hey, I think I'm your sibling. Probably so, because he was a piece of fuck. So I'm just saying, the ancestry DNA, what I love about it is it will kind of auto-populate your family tree. It will kind of auto-populate your family tree. It will be so much easier to find. What I love about Ancestry as well, and I'm not paid by Ancestry to do this. This is for entertainment purposes only. This is not a paid product endorsement. Oh my fucking God. What I love about that is so many people have uploaded pictures in the last, 20 or 30 years since Ancestry has been a thing, that it's phenomenal to see photos of people you're related to and see your face in their face. It's so cool. It's so cool. All right, Miss Heidi Poo. You got 2 new brothers from Ancestry. I know a lot of people that found that they had siblings on Ancestry. My biological dad, his mom was not a nice person, was not nice to me. And she paid for, so my dad was a very, not my dad, my biological father was a severe alcoholic and a drug addict. And she paid for him to live in Vegas, because at the time they didn't have like an extradition thing to Oklahoma, so he wouldn't have to pay child support. She was a great woman. She was a great woman. She made sure I knew that I was the least favorite grandchild. She made sure of that. She made sure I knew that my cousins were better than me all the time. It was great. It was fun. So yeah, when my dad passed away, he came back to Oklahoma, and he came back to Oklahoma basically to pass away because he had done so much damage to his body and his liver that when he tried to get on the transplant list, I think that they probably all wet their pants and then passed away from laughing, because of his extensive record. But so he came back here and wanted to do he wanted me to do a life insurance policy. He was like, I'll pay for it and you can, bitch, I don't want your money. I wanted you to be a dad when I was 3. I wanted you to be a dad and you never were. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. So this is the great person that my grandmother was. You ready? When he passed away, in the obituary, she didn't even mention that he had a daughter. It was great. So yeah, so it will not surprise me at all if somebody comes into my life at some point like, I think I'm your sister, or I think I'm your brother. Like, yeah. I mean, it did sting a little bit, but to be honest, I also expected it. So yeah. People do the meanest things. So yeah, but I highly recommend that the ancestry.com, and to be honest, every single holiday, even holidays that aren't really technically holidays, they have a special. So wait till there's a special on it. It does take like about 60 days. I'm not going to lie. When you send it in, when you order the kit, they send it in a thing. It's already got the pre-stamped whatever to send it back. When they receive it, like you download the app and everything, and it'll give you updates. They'll tell you when they receive it, and it really takes about 60 days to get the results, but it's worth it. It's worth it. So yeah, it's worth it. Especially for those of you guys that are adopted. Yeah. Yeah. Meaner to the ones they love than strangers. I don't know. I think she was kind of mean to everybody. The only one that ever kept up with me that side of the family was my Aunt Suzanne, and she would flat tell you. She was like, she's never going to die because she's so mean. She did finally pass away, and I wasn't sorry about it, and I did not go to her funeral either. And I'm not sad. I'm not sad about it. When my biological father passed away, my dad, who raised me, he even told me, he advised me to go to the funeral, and I was like, I'm not going. I'm not going to do it. I did think about it. But I already knew. You know? And so I had lunch with my dad. It's been about 6 months ago. We were sitting at breakfast. And so I guess it's not really lunch. We were sitting at breakfast. And I don't know how it came up. We started talking about it. And I said, by the way, still don't regret not going to his funeral. And he just laughed really hard. I was like, I still don't regret it. Still waiting on the regret, Dad. Like, still waiting on the regret. All right. Willow, I will whenever I get there. I am still a chicken shit, and I haven't done it yet. We actually were talking about that earlier. But yes, I will. Whenever I finally get some balls to go and have them done, I will take you guys with me, because I know that y'all are, some of y'all are in the same boat that I am. I understand. All right, Heidi. All right, you got Naked Jesus. Let yourself be vulnerable. You can't see anything, but I wanted to cover it anyway. And then you have It's a Shit Show. Become aware. I want you to look at this. Look at their faces. Tell me that's not the best card. It's a shit show. Oh, and then you have Pull Your Head In. Show more compassion and gratitude. All right. I don't know if you're ready to hear this one, Heidi. Because, I mean, the first one is all about being vulnerable. You have some repeating numbers, though. You have 28, then you have 22, 33. So repeating numbers have been a thing, yeah? All right. Let yourself be vulnerable. I know that is hard for you. I know that it's really, really hard for you. For people that have always had to be the strong one, being vulnerable is hard. It's scary. You don't want to do it, because being vulnerable means that you suddenly are not the strong one. When you are vulnerable, you're suddenly not the one that has that backbone made of steel. You're not the one that has, the big armor all over you. When you're vulnerable, people see your flaws. When you're vulnerable, people see your weaknesses. They see the soft part of you. It's like I always tease the cancers, just because a crab has a hard shell. I always tease the cancers that you might be hard on the outside, but you're super squishy on the inside. You've had to be the adult, the strong one, the leader, the caretaker. You've had to be all of the strong things for so long that being vulnerable is something that terrifies you. Letting people see that you not only have a weakness, that you have feelings, that's really, really hard. But I'm going to tell you this. I was that way for so long, and I'm still that way. Like I still really fight that. But I've learned that the people that are in my life that I care about the most, which is my kids, as nerdy as they think I am, I try to be as vulnerable as I can with them now. I mean, Kay's 18, she'll be 19 in a few months. Brody's almost 26. Like, they're both old enough that they can understand. So if I'm upset, I no longer go hide in the shower and cry if it's just my kids here. Like, if somebody else there, I'm going to hide in the shower and cry. But if I'm having a bad day mentally, I'll talk to my kid, I'll tell my kids, like, I'll just be honest with them, because I grew up in a pretty supportive family, but we didn't talk about emotions. We didn't talk about emotions. My parents, my sister and I had no idea that there was anything wrong. We never heard our parents argue, fight, nothing. They just one day were like, we're getting divorced. And we were like, what the fuck? Like, we had no idea. We were blindsided because they never had an argument. I cannot ever remember a time my parents had an argument in front of my sister and I. So I wish that they had been more open like that. And I wish that I had been more open with my kids when they were younger. But that's how you show your kids and the people around you what a strong person is. Because when they see that you've got weaknesses and that you're working on those weaknesses, when they see you've got things that you've overcome, that gives your kids... It gives your kids the ability and the tools that they need to overcome that same shit when they get older. So I know being vulnerable absolutely sucks and no one likes to feel vulnerable, but it's kind of key. When you're vulnerable also, that's when you really are aware at how intense the shit show is around you. When you're vulnerable, you let your guard down. When you're vulnerable, you don't have this big old armor up pushing everything out and not paying attention to things. So when you're vulnerable, you really see the shit show. You see the shit show. It's really funny. As you level up spiritually, and this will happen to all of you, as you level up spiritually, two things happen at the same time. And they're so contradictory that it's insane. But you can't have one without the other. The first one is this. You start to put up protections and boundaries around yourself at such a high level that no one can get through them. No one can break them. No one can climb over them. No one can dig under them. You are able to be the strongest person in the room for everyone. You are able to see the outcomes of things when it's just first starting. You are able to see every outcome. While you're this really intense, strong person, simultaneously, you're vulnerable. Simultaneously, you look like a little hermit crab that's left its shell, and you're standing there cold and kind of crabby naked. You are those two things simultaneously. Because you can't know what strength is without knowing what vulnerability is. And you can't know what vulnerability is without knowing what strength is. It's yin and yang. It's black and white. It's good and evil. Male, female. You see what I'm saying? You can't have one without the other. So you have to learn to be more vulnerable, and you'll see where the shit show really is going off the rails. When that happens, and you can't just do this instantly. You can't just wake up and go, I'm vulnerable today. It doesn't work that way. You have to kind of work at it. But when that happens, that is exactly the time that you start to show more gratitude, and you'll start to have a lot more compassion just in general. Because when we're vulnerable, we see other people's vulnerability. And that it's not force isn't the right word, but it pushes us to be more compassionate to everybody. Does that make sense, Heidi? I don't know what it is that you're going through that spurred this to pop up this evening, but I hope that helps. I hope that helps. Good. I'm glad it made sense. I'm glad it made sense. I just want to show you the shit show card again because I love it. I love this one in the green over there doing the handstand. It cracks me the fuck up. Cracks me the fuck up. I have sounded like a fucking bird repeatedly tonight, and I don't know what I think about it. Lenzie, save me from sounding like a bird. I love these cards too. Whenever I start ordering product again, I definitely will order a bunch of these because I really like them. The only thing, they're very, very thick cardstock. Like, very thick cardstock. That's the only thing. So you really have to work with them. I get so used to my other cards that I've had for years. I've only had this deck. I think I've had this deck about a year and a half. I think this summer will be 2 years. But yeah. All right. Boogeyman bullshit. Oof. Release your fears. That's always fun. And then you have Lenzie. I literally said, please stop me from acting like a bird. And I get this. Pissed as a parrot. Use your own voice. I feel like you're making fun of me. And then you have, I love this one. You ready? Psycho Spirit. Use your inner guidance. Come on, that's funny. That's funny. You know what's even funnier is I have never in a year and a half pulled either one of these cards. Pissed as a Parrot or Psycho Spirit. They have never come out of this deck. I'm just saying. Fucking funny. All right. Lenzie. Dude, you got to stand up for yourself. You got to stand up for yourself because having release your fears and then use your own voice and then use your inner guidance. Here, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Okay? I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to give you a little bit of this. Ooh, apparently, and a hair. I'm going to give you a little bit of this. Okay? I want you to hold out your hand. You ready? Because I'm going to throw this at you through the phone. It's going to work. It's going to work. Ready? I'm going to throw this at you. And you're going to catch it. And whenever you catch it, I want you to go like that. Put it right there. Okay? Ready? There's a little bit of the I don't give a fuck Bodhi-esque aspect just for you. Okay? One of the things that I have learned. One of the things that being on TikTok has taught me is to stand up for yourself. Is to stand up for yourself. No one else will. I have been attacked 9 ways from Sunday on this app. I have had some of the weirdest comments. I have had some of the rudest comments. I have been called every fucking name in the book. I have had unaliving threats. I have had so much happen. I have had stalkers. I have had people send shit to my home. I have had my car van, like so much shit. Okay? I've never ever been someone to just kind of roll over anyway. But being on this app for 5 years, I have one of the thickest skins that I never thought I would have. I also am getting to the point where I just kind of don't care. I just kind of don't care. It would be different if I just sat in my house and I just spewed shit out of my face that didn't make any difference. But I don't. And neither do you, Lenzie. I travel all over the United States. I work with people all over the world. I've actually worked with people all over the world since 2001, 2002, 2001, 2002. I work with people all over the world in game design. I used to teach creative writing to people who spoke English as a second language, and in social media, etc. I have worked with people all over the world. But just in traveling around the United States, I have seen and learned so much firsthand. I just don't care. I just don't care. So when I have somebody now on TikTok that's like, you can't do that because of blah, blah, blah. Let me show you all my middle fingers. I can flip you off with my toes too. So that's what I sent you. That's what I gave you, Lenzie, was some of that. Because this right here is telling me that you have either stifled your own voice on purpose, or somebody has made you feel like you didn't have one. That's different, okay? When you stifle your own voice to make someone else happy, that's one thing. But when someone forces you to think that you're not allowed to have a voice, that's a whole other ball of wax. Like, give me their name. I'll put the motherfucker in a jar. I got you. Lenzie, you have got to speak up for yourself. You have got to speak up for yourself. All right, so we're going to play a what if, okay? What if you did speak up to this person, these people, whatever, and what is the worst thing that could happen? Now, we're going to play worst case scenario. Worst thing that could happen, they could go completely psycho and they could... Worst case scenario. Okay. Because you know what's going to happen then? You're going to haunt that bitch like a motherfucker. You're going to make them pee their pants in the middle of the night. You're going to slam doors. You're going to turn the cold water on in the shower. You're never going to let that motherfucker have a moment of peace. What's the best case scenario? What if? What's the best case scenario? They're going to go, oh, shit, I didn't realize you felt that way. I'm so sorry. And actually mean it. And things will get better. So now you know that in between the worst case scenario and the best case scenario, something is going to happen in the middle of that. So what if you tell that person, hey, I have felt for the past X amount of days, years, months, whatever, that I can't tell you what I think because I'm worried of what you'll say and blah, blah, blah. And they get mad and they leave. Bye, bitch. Bye. Lenzie is the master of Lenzie's ship. Girl, be Captain Jack. Be Captain Jack. Just say what the fuck ever. Just say what the fuck ever. I'm just saying. We all admire that character because he just does whatever the fuck he does. Think about it. Whether you find him super schmixy or not. We all admire that character because he says and he does whatever it is that he wants to say or do. Do you see what I'm saying? Lenzie is the captain of Lenzie's ship. Just saying. Hey, Christine, are you here by chance? Or Leanne? Will one of y'all screenshot that for me? I know y'all saw it. Y'all probably already screenshotted it. Thank you, thank you. So let me just address that real quick because I have gone by Bodhi for a very long time. I know that some people want to come in here and say, hi, Mandy, either as a power move or to make somebody think that you know me personally or whatever. But that's really kind of disrespectful. Like, if you know that I go by something else, like just like if you knew, okay, let's say that the dude in the card right here, maybe his name is Richard and he got called Dick all the time as a kid. So he wants to go by Fred because that's his middle name. And you call him Richard on purpose. That's just disrespectful. That's just disrespectful. So when you come in with a weird kind of troll account thing and you want to say my government name, like, that's just disrespectful. And I took it as such. So I'm so glad that you have a cute little picture. I'm so glad you have a cute little weird picture and stuff like that. So I'm just saying. It's just a power move, and you know what? Okay. That's how I know. There's only one person that comes in that does it, that I know that she does it. She's just sweet. Afton, when she comes in, she still kind of calls me that. And there's a few people that I don't mind when that happens, because I know she's not doing it in a way like that. But the rest of them, when they come in with a weird little account like that and so on and so forth, like, I'm just saying. And if you call me by that name, then I know either A, we haven't talked in a very long time, or B, you think that you know me in a way that it's okay for you to call me that. Like, I don't go by that. I don't go by that. I'm just saying. And I haven't for a long time. So yeah. Jennifer Binksy, where are you at? Yeah, that's just, I mean, you wanted attention, you got attention. You got it. You got it. You got it, you attention. You got it. Dude, my manager doesn't even call me by that name. I'm just saying what I'm saying. Why? Oh, because I plugged this into the wrong thing. I was like, why is this, why did I get the red thing? There we go. All right. Yeah, my manager doesn't even call me by that. Now, I saw Chaz pop in. Chaz has known me for a hot minute. Chaz can call me that. Chaz can still call me my government name because Chaz has known me. Chaz has known me for a hot minute. What's up, Chaz? I miss your fucking face. I've known Chaz for a hot long minute. So Chaz can call me that. If I've known you since we was like, damn right you will. If I've known you for a long hot minute and we've done some shit and some stuff together, then yeah, you can call me that. Oh no, I broke it. I guess it got broken, the thing. But yeah. I don't know that you've ever really even called me that anyway, have you, Chaz? You always have some weird pet name for me anyway. I'm actually trying to think if I've ever, I was like, I don't even think I've ever even heard you call me Mandy. That's weird. Like, even like just in my brain, I'm like, have I ever actually heard Chaz call me? Nope. Yeah. So see? Yeah. Kind of goes right along with that video I posted the other day, doesn't it? I'm just saying what I'm saying. Binksy, are you ready? The answer is yes. I know you are. I know y'all would like me to. I love you right back. You should text me tomorrow. You should text me tomorrow. I assume you're snowed in too, so you should call me, text me tomorrow. I love your face. I've known Chaz for a long time. All right. Binksy. Your soul has fucked off. Retrieve it. And cat shit. Connect to your inner psychic. I love this one. That's Vlad, by the way. That's an actual photo of Vlad in the middle of the night when he wants pets. I'm just saying. I love that it's a number 6 too. And shitful shadow side. Balance it out. Binksy. I also like that you start off with 43 and end with 34. So you have 4, 3, 6, 3, 4. Just saying. Welcome to my wonderful neurodivergent aspect where I see patterns in everything. It's great. How many of you guys see patterns in everything? Where's all my neurodivergent friends at? Show of hands. All right. Binksy. I love that everybody's like, yep, right here, bitch. Y'all, I was sick as fuck last night, and I was sick this morning. This is the best I felt all day. That's why I'm being goofy, because it's the best I felt all day. Thank you for letting me be goofy. All right. Binksy. Somehow, my friend, your soul has just taken a little trip. It has just wandered off into the night. You need to do a soul retrieval. You really and truly do. I haven't done one in a very long time, and I don't think I'm not traveling on the spring equinox, so I will schedule one. But y'all, at least a couple of times a year, you should do a soul retrieval. You should. Okay? Here's why. We all go through shit all the time. Okay? We give away way too much of ourselves. We hide shit. We be a hermit, whatever it is. Or we have so much trauma and crap that happens that we end up, our soul is just like, and I'm out. And it just takes off on vacation. Yes, that happens. A soul retrieval is not only to pull your energy back, but it is to pull yourself back together. It's to pull all of you back into the rest of you. You can find some on YouTube, some guided meditations. And if you have never done one, start there. Okay? If you have never, ever done one, start there. Everybody should do one. Everybody should do one. I'm just saying, okay? When you listen to a guided meditation, those are going to help you tremendously. Whether you do an in-person one with me, or whether you do it like in person somewhere with someone, or whatever, that's going to be a whole different level of hit, okay? I'm serious. It's a whole different level of hit, okay? Just so you guys know, if you're on either the beginner mentorship plan or the blue plan, you'll automatically be signed up for any soul retrieval that I do. But I will schedule a couple for the spring equinox. A soul retrieval is weird. I'm not going to lie. It's weird. Because when you do a soul retrieval, whether it's on YouTube or with someone, it suddenly feels like you get really heavy. Like you get really heavy. It's weird. And it takes you a couple days to level back out. Leanne's done a ton with me, so Leanne can tell you. Christine's done a few. Like my mods have all done at least one, and they can tell you. It sucks. And it's fantastic at the same time. Like, you feel so fucking heavy. And usually you go to sleep bawling like a little fucking bitch. Like you're 3 years old in the bed with your blankie. But the next day, you wake up feeling so much better. So much lighter. And so much stronger. Because all of you is back together. I'm going to recommend, Binksy, that you do one of the guided ones. Oh, I thought I was going to yawn. That you do one of the guided ones on YouTube. Do one a week or so until you get with someone that can do one for you. Okay. I'm also going to recommend, because you have the cat shit. Look, check that out. I'm just going to show you it again. Cat shit. Connect to your psychic site. Something has happened. I don't know if, now I'm going to say this, and I don't want anybody to think I'm picking on anybody, because I'm not. Sometimes medications that you're put on will cut off your connection. It will. Some anti-anxiety meds will do it. Some I was on a seizure med. I was on Depakote to help with the swings that come with the seizures. Those are, Depakote's also used for like anger management and some other things. That Depakote will 100% cut your shit off, and you have to get it. You have to force it back in. But some blood pressure medications, things used for anything that changes the chemicals, the stuff in your brain. So like anti-epileptic medicine, anxiety meds, anything like that. Bipolar, I knew it was used for something like that too. I'm not going to lie though, it was great because, time out, Big C-Star. So if y'all have never been around someone with epilepsy, I can always tell when I'm headed for a seizure day. It's been getting really good lately, knock on wood. Like I haven't had one in a hot minute, knock on all the wood. But I do sometimes get the pre-ictal phase, and it's so weird. I get emotional, really emotional. I will get really fucking angry for no reason at everything. Like I want to burn the fucking world down. And then the next thing I know, I'm crying. I want to cry like a bitch. I'm so depressed. Everything is bad. I'm Eeyore in the corner. And then I'm like, oh, this is a pre-ictal phase. The Depakote knocked that out. I'm not going to lie. And then after a seizure, I would sleep forever. And then when I would wake up, I would feel like every bit of my soul was dragging in the dirt, and I would just be a fucking conta. And that helped with that too. It helped with that too, tremendously. But if you guys are on anything like that and you're struggling with your intuition and struggling to connect, you can get it back while you're on the medication. Okay. I'm not saying you can't, because you 100% can, but it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a fight, and you're going to have to really, really want it. But let me tell you this. By working your ass off and getting your intuition and all those psychic sight and those gut feelings back while you're on that kind of medication, if you change meds or if you get off those meds, oh my God, you're a powerhouse. I'm just letting you know. I'm just letting you know. I'm just letting you know. But it can be done, okay? There's a lot of people that say, oh, well, you know, it'll block you and you can never get out from it. Bullshit. You can do whatever you fucking want to do. And just because you're on something at all, hell, I know blood pressure medicines that do it, okay? Nerve pain medicines that do it. I promise you can overcome and get your psychic self back. I promise you can. I promise you can. One of the first things that I'm going to recommend to do this is to start listening to some of the frequencies. Solfeggios. I was like, I know what they are. Solfeggio frequencies. Solfeggio. The solfeggio frequencies are a set of 9 different frequencies. They coordinate with chakras. Now, I don't recommend, if you've never listened to them before, I don't recommend putting one single frequency on YouTube all night. You will have a headache the next morning. You'll be cranky. You'll be set, whatever. Like, just don't do that. What I recommend instead is getting on like Pandora, Spotify. There are some playlists on YouTube that have the solfeggio frequencies, and let them go. Like, they have all of them. There's like Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora. There's a ton of free ones that you can listen to. Create yourself a playlist and just let it play. Okay? Just let it play. But let it rotate through all of them so your body starts getting used to all of them. That way you get kind of a clean sweep. I actually haven't done that in a while either. I'm going to do that tonight. You get a clean sweep. That's what I'm going to say. Okay? Then move on to listening to just one. Myself, I listen to different frequencies and binaural beats and stuff all the time. But if I put on just one at night, let's say like 528, I'm like, oh, I'm going to put that on because it's with rain. I sleep to rain a lot. I'm going to put it on with the rain and so on. It'd be great. I'm going to wake up within a couple hours with a headache. Every time. Okay. So find you a playlist with the solfeggio frequencies. The shitful shadow side. Balance your good, bad, and ugly. To be honest, I think that you using the solfeggios to get your gifts and your abilities back on. Somebody just muted them. They're not off. Somebody just muted them. Okay. I really think that that's going to take care of a lot of this. That's going to take care of a lot of this. So what this tells me is that you've had a lot of like really intense, just shitty feelings lately, that your shadow works, that your shadow side's been like, oh yeah, guess what? This is terrible. And this is what you do. And it's been just that earworm in your brain about how terrible things are. And you're got the imposter syndrome and all that shit. The solfeggio frequencies are going to help with that tremendously. I promise. I promise they will. It's not as hard as you think it is. And some of it too is just having to talk with your brain, like when that slick little shadowy little like thing comes in there in your brain. Bitch, fuck off. I'm just saying. Does that make sense, Binksy? I know I did this a lot. When at the beginning I was like, I'm not gonna talk. I'm gonna get through these readings. And here we are. Y'all love the way I roll. It's great. It's fun. It's fantastic. And apparently that's just going to refresh itself on its own. So, I think... Oh, yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Oh, let me fix it. Fucking yes. All right. So, I have Dawn, Valerie, Talise, Samantha, and Sammie. Those are the last ones. All right, Dawn, you ready? You know what? I just hope I wake up feeling like this tomorrow. I can't wait for spring. I can't wait for spring where I can air everything out and be outside. I hate it. I hate it. Stupid, but I hate it. Right now, it's like super fucking cold. And like my dogs went outside. They have potty pads because they're little old men, but they took one step outside and they were like, nope, coming back in. I'm just curious what the temperature is, because it's supposed to get down to -2 tonight without the wind chill. So it says currently it is 9 degrees and it feels like -2. So we're yeah, that's great. Fun. It's fantastic. It's stupid. It's stupid. Stupid. All right. Dawn, save me from myself. Suck it up, princess. Accept your karma. Did you notice her shoe? Just saying. That's a mess up. Y'all know that we all wondered how she didn't break those shoes. We all wondered. Oh, and then you have a fancy fat fucker. Get healthy. That card cracks me up. And it's really gross. It's really gross. I'm just saying. It's really gross. And then you have your soul has fucked off. Retrieve it. Okay. No repeating numbers. Let's talk about this. Suck it up, princess. Accept your karma. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. Or exactly what this card is talking about, not what I'm talking about. Sometimes we do something, we make a decision, and we just have to deal with it. Like, we just have to deal with it. But what I'm going to remind you of with this, because I think when I turned that card over, you went, oh, bitch. I think that it hit you kind of in the gut a little bit, and you were like, shit. It was confirmation. But here's what I'm going to remind you. Anything that you choose, you can also unchoose. There's a yawn. Anything that you do, that you agree to, you can also unagree to. Sometimes it takes a lot longer to get out of that situation than it was to get into that situation. But the only way out of it is through. For example, let's say that you got into a relationship with someone that you knew was toxic. You knew they're not a good person. You knew that it was going to be a terrible relationship, but you were in there and you stayed. And you've been there for years, okay? You've been miserable for years and you want out. It may take you a minute to get the money saved up to get out. It may take you a minute to find a place to stay. It may take you a minute to do all of that, but you hold the key to getting out of that relationship just like you held the key to getting in that relationship. I just use that example because everybody understands that. Everybody understands that. We've all been in a friendship, in a job, or in a relationship with a super toxic motherfucker that we're like, how the fuck did I end up here? We chose it. We chose it. Nobody forced you to be in that job, in that relationship, etc. You can also unchoose that just like you chose it. Like I said, it may take you a little bit to be able to get everything you need to leave. It may take you a little bit to find a place. It may take you a little bit and you may have to work at it. It may not be an instantaneous, oh, I made the decision and now I'm gone. That's not how it worked. Okay? That's not how it worked. Not how it works. But I promise that you can do it. I promise that you can do it. I have faith in you. I have faith in every one of you that said, I'm in that situation right now. I have faith in you. You need to have faith in you. And sometimes we chose to be in a shitty relationship. We kind of got to deal with the shitty relationship while we're getting out of the shitty relationship. Okay? The other thing that's interesting too is that you have the fancy fat fucker and the get healthy card. To be honest, seeing the your soul has fucked off card, I don't think that this really has a lot to do with you physically at all. I mean, everybody, I could always be like, you should eat better, you should exercise, and you should take care of yourself. Everybody should do that. Yes, we all should do that. Okay. I don't need to tell you that. But I don't think that this card has to do with that. I think what this card has to do with, or my professional opinion, is that you need to work on you, your emotional self in here. Physically, you can handle things. Mentally, you can handle things. Spiritually, you can handle things. Emotionally, that's where you need to shore up your defenses. Because a lot of the times we end up staying in some shit situation, whether it's a relationship or a job or a living situation or whatever. We end up staying in a shit relationship because emotionally we're in this codependent thing and we're kind of weak. And so we end up staying there. Don't stay there. Dawn, don't stay there. There's a lot of different things you can do to boost your emotional self. Thank you, Mish. And thank you, Dragon. There's a lot of things you can do to boost your emotional self. Being stronger spiritually will help that as well. Meditation and training your brain to be mindful of you, to be present in the moment as much as possible, that will also help. I promise. I promise. It sounds stupid. Sorry, got interrupted. Bear's making a nest. Thank you for that. There's a couple of Alan Watts lectures. One is called Leave It Be. I would recommend that. We'll start with that. It's Alan Watts, Leave It Be. You can find it on Audible. You probably can find it on YouTube as well. And then the other one I'm going to recommend is Becoming Nobody from Ram Dass, Rammdass. I'm going to recommend that too, because those two will provide you a very unique, more modern day philosophical experience. And I know it sounds frou-frou, and I know that some people, when I said that, they're like rolling their eyes like, okay, I'm really going to go do that. Seriously. Never in my life would I have ever thought that I would have been somebody that listens to audiobooks while I drive and so on. But I listen to philosophical books like that. I've listened to Leave It Be probably 6 or 7 times. Probably 6 or 7 times. Well, thank you, Jess. And I can't speak enough good about listening to those kind of modern day philosophers. Okay? That's what I would recommend. That's what I would recommend. And your soul has fucked off. Retrieve it. Just like I mentioned a while ago when this card popped up, listen to some of the guided meditations on YouTube for soul retrieval. Now, just because it's a guided meditation, y'all can sleep to it. I'm just letting you know. You can. Because to be honest, going to sleep to one, oh, I got a knot in my hair. Your brain is automatically going to do those things, and it's basically going to be a more lucid dreaming event than really a meditation. And to be honest, that works a little better. I'm just saying what I'm saying. Because when you're in a dream state, you're more open to what that meditation is saying. Okay? That's what I'd recommend. That's what I'd recommend, Dawn. I don't think that you're in such a bad of a position as you think you are. Just saying. Just saying. All right, Valerie, you ready? Now they're getting a little better at being shuffling. You are so welcome. What's up, shades? I know y'all watch me shuffle, but this is suck it up, princess. Accept your karma in the same spot as Dawn had. Your soul has fucked off. Retrieve it. Not in the same spot. Cards, I was just bragging on you that you were shuffling all. I was just bragging on you that you're doing so good. The fuck? Thankfully. Ooh, energy vampires. Cut those ties now. Okay, so let's have a serious chat. Because that got real serious real quick. I don't know what kind of situation you were in, but you have found yourself tangled up in a situation to where not only do you feel stuck and trapped, you feel like you just check out. You feel like you just check the fuck out. Every time that you're around this person, this situation, this job, whatever it is, you check the fuck out. You feel like you haven't been yourself in a hot minute. Probably a couple years at this point. And you feel like every time you're around this situation, you are so drained that you just kind of turn into a blob of stuff. And I have a feeling that when I say this next thing, you're going to instantly know who it is in your life that I'm talking about. You have somebody that is 100% an energy vampire. Not only are they an energy vampire, but they're a very talented energy vampire. And so not only can they suck all of the energy out of you, but they can manipulate you emotionally in a way that no one ever in your life has been able to manipulate you like this before. You are going to have to cut ties with this person. I mean, chop, 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 chop. Like, there's no, let's just be friends. There's no, okay, well, we can still work in the same office. No. You're going to have to make a decision And you are going to have to be the one that sticks with it. Thank you, Christine. Because the problem is, energy vampires are very, very interesting, because if they know that you provide good energetic food, they are going to try to come back in a lot. They're going to reach out to you 6 months, a year, 10 years down the road, just because they just need a hit. So blocking them and not answering for anything is key. When it comes to the kind of suck it up, accept your karma thing, when we get involved with an energy vampire, there's a lot that goes in with that, because energy vampires cause us to do stupid things. They cause us to not talk to the people that are trying to, good, I'm glad. They cause us to not talk to people that really care about us. They cause us to walk away from friends and family. They cause us to isolate ourselves. Like, they cause us to become a completely different person that we were whenever we met this person or got into this job or whatever. With these coming up like this, I feel like I should point out that there's a 4 in 2 of these cards. And there's a 3 in 2 of these cards. So 3, 4. With the soul retrieval card in the middle, you need to find you again. And I mean the part of you that's somewhere way down in there, you know, kind of sitting in the corner, rocking back and forth. You need to find that part of you, and you need to pull thank you. You need to pull that part of you back up, because that part of you has been shoved down and silenced for so long that it's like this crazy, I almost just said disconnect, but it's not. Like, you don't really recognize who you are anymore. It's going to take a little bit to fix this, but I think the biggest thing you need to overcome is just getting you back. And I know you said you've already cut ties with this person, that they're probably in jail, like all of that stuff, and that's fantastic. Good for them. I love that for them. But you need to pull that part of you back up. You need to pull that part of you back up to the norm. What's funny is, when I look at this suck it up princess, the accept your karma, I don't even think that it's bad. When we go through bullshit, that was cute. Thank you for the bow. When we go through bullshit, and someone that's this kind of energy vampire, it's like we pay for their karma. Now it's time for you to accept that good things are supposed to happen to you, that you do deserve all the good things, that you do deserve to have all of yourself back. Because a lot of times we get in this codependent shit of thinking that, well, you know, I've been in this relationship with this person for so long, I don't deserve anything good anymore. We start to think that kind of stuff because they want us to think that kind of stuff. So the karma part that you need to accept is not bad karma. It's good karma. You do deserve the good things. You are not an imposter. You know your shit. You know your stuff. You're a fantastic soul. Do you see what I'm saying? So pull that other part of you back up and realize that you do deserve it. You are the princess. without the glass shoes. Okay, nobody's wearing glass shoes. But I'm just saying. Okay? Does that make sense? Good. I'm glad. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I would not be surprised if this person does try to contact you. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. All right. We're going to shuffle. That was 1. 2, 3. Talise, 4, 5, 6. Nope, that's like 5 cards right there, homie. 7. 9. All right. No, not wearing Upalite or Unikite. All right. Ready, Talise? The Devil in Drag, Identity Crisis. Fucking Mercury retrograde. Time to take personal responsibility. I love that one. And it's a shit show. Become aware. All right. Let's chat. I'm also going to grab some almonds because I need something in my belly tummy. All right. Is it Talise? Am I saying it right? Am I saying it right? Don't let me say your name wrong. T, big T-O. Because I'll just call you T-O. Don't make me do it. All right. They're so good. And they don't have a ton of sugar in them either. Okay. Why is it that you don't know? It's not the right question to ask. I was going to ask, why is it that you don't know who you are? But I don't think that's the right wording. You feel like you've gotten off track. You feel like you've gotten in a rut. You feel like you've gotten off kilter. Like something just feels wrong. Like you just don't understand. Like something just feels wrong. But let me say this. It's not. You're having this crazy identity crisis of who you should be, where you should be going, why you should be going there, on all of that stuff, and really questioning every single little thing that's going on. But the thing is, thank you for that, you're right where you're supposed to be. You're right where you're supposed to be. I want you to look at every single Disney movie. Every single princess movie that ever existed. In the beginning, that princess was one person, right? Let's just talk about, you know what? Let's talk about Sleeping Beauty because that's a great one. In the very beginning, she's a princess. She's born a princess. But she doesn't know that. She thinks she's growing up with her aunties in the woods. Some little farm girl. Some little wood girl. She meets a prince. She's not good enough for the prince. because she's just some girl that grew up in the woods, right? And then you go through this really dark time of being asleep, only to find out you've been a fucking princess all along. You're having an identity crisis because you don't quite see yet that princess aspect of you that you've been all along. When it comes to this identity crisis, I know that this says take personal responsibility, and this is kind of like a hard-hitting card, Mercury retrograde, and blah, 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 blah. But here's the thing. Embrace it. Embrace not knowing who you are. Because if you don't know who you are, then you can be whoever you want to be. If you don't know who you are, then you can wear whatever you want to wear. And you can say whatever you want to say. And you can act however you want to act. And you can be who you feel like you should be inside at any given moment. If you don't know who you are, people say fake it till you make it, but here's the thing. Just be who you want to be. Just be yourself. And if you want to wear leggings and then joggers and then a jean skirt and then 5 sweaters and then 4 jackets and 2 separate shoes and 9 different earrings, who gives a fuck? Congratulations, Garrett. If you don't know who you want to be, cool. If you don't know who you are, cool. And if somebody else has told you that you have to be this person or that person, be this way or whatever, no, you don't. No, you don't. I promise. I promise. There's nothing more freeing, and I don't know who else needs to hear this. There's nothing more freeing than being exactly who you want to be. Being exactly who you are. I made a comment one time when I was married that one of my bucket list items was sleeves. I've always wanted sleeves. I grew up watching MTV in the 80s, and the punks on there, I fucking loved it. They were tattooed and they had colored hair, and they just seemed like the coolest fuckers. They had the side shave like they were cool as fuck. I wanted to be like that. So I wanted sleeves. And the response I got from my husband was, well, sleeves on a woman look like prison tattoos. Okay. So as a present to myself, when I got divorced, I spent almost $7,000 finishing my sleeves and my shoulder caps and my back. I haven't done my sides yet. I don't have a full jacket yet because I don't know what I want on my sides and I'm a little chicken shit. But the first thing I did was finish my fucking sleeves. And I'm not going to lie, I was a little sad when we finished up the last piece over here on my arm, and I kind of cried a little bit because it was done. But knowing that I now had a phenomenal set of sleeves, most of it, almost everything on this part of my arm down here, except for my hand, most of it I did myself. Knowing that I was rocking badass shoulder caps and a cool back piece, and I was like, I can't tell you how powerful I felt. When I first started dyeing my hair different colors, I lived with someone that, even though I'm a redhead, he liked my hair platinum blonde. And so I kept it platinum blonde for a long time. And one day I was like, ooh, I want to put some blue in there, like this deep color, like rockabilly blue color. I wanted that color. So I had this gorgeous platinum hair, and underneath down here, this bottom part was this gorgeous, gorgeous, like really deep sapphire blue color. I was so proud of this. I managed to not get it to bleed. Like, I was so proud of this, okay? I fixed it all pretty and slick, and I put my makeup on, and I went out in the living room, and I was like, hey, I was like, what do you think of my hair? I felt like the baddest bitch there was, right? The response was this: I'm not going anywhere with you with your hair like that. And I turned around and I was crushed. And I got my car keys and I went to Walmart and I got some shitty brown box dye, and I put this maroon over that, and I had it white and maroon forever. And then I hit a phase one day where I just didn't care. I just didn't care. I dyed my whole head pink. And then I dyed my whole head purple. And then I dyed my whole head blue. And from there, it's been some kind of blue since. And as soon as I could, whenever our divorce was final, I shaved the sides of that bitch. Being who you are and being free and not giving a goddamn fuck if someone else likes the way you look is the most freeing, powerful thing ever, 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 ever. The only thing you need to take responsibility for is being exactly who you are. By the way, you have an awesome fucking name. You're already awesome. Like, you already have a leg up on everyone else. Because you don't have like the normal name. You don't have like a normal name. You already have an awesome, gorgeous name. So you already got some cool points there. This card right here has nothing to do with you being a shit show. What it is, baby, the world is a shit show. The whole world is a shit show. When you realize the whole world is a shit show and everyone else feels the same stupid ass anxiety and judgy shit that you do, who cares? And I'm going to tell you guys something else. There's always going to be somebody that doesn't like you. Period. They're not going to like your face shape. They're not going to like your hair. They're not going to like that you have a piercing or tattoos, or that you're not thin enough, or that you're not big enough, or that you're not tall enough, or that you're not short enough, or that you drive this car, or you drive... That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There is always going to be somebody who doesn't like you. And there will always be someone that thinks you are the shit. They think you are the shit covered with gold and diamonds. They think that you are the reason the earth spins. That's who matters. Not the person that thinks that you're bad for whatever. Okay? Everybody's a shit show. Everybody's a shit show. Everybody has bullshit. Everybody has great shit. I'm just saying. Go be awesome. Go be awesome. Stop judging yourself so hard, okay? Like I said, you've already got a cool name. So you got a leg up on everybody else. You're already most of the way there. You are so welcome, honey. All right. Samantha. You know what's really funny? Congratulations on getting that memorial tattoo. I knew a tattoo artist one time made a comment to me about how he didn't like doing memorial tattoos. He didn't like doing clocks or infinity symbols. He didn't like doing any of that. And I asked him why. And he said, well, like every basic bitch does that. Okay. And then, about a year later, this person got a memorial tattoo, a portrait of his child that he lost. Politely, I pointed out the irony. And he didn't think it was funny. But about a week later, he said, I really was thinking about what you said. And you were right. Because he would turn those tattoos down. He wouldn't do a clock. He wouldn't do an infinity symbol. He wouldn't do memorials. Just saying. He does now. All right, Samantha. Ready? Yeah, my memorial tattoo is that right there. If y'all know what that is, then we're friends. My sister and I have matching ones from our mom. The Enterprise. Yep, we're friends. My mom was a huge Trekkie. I have that. And then, I don't know if y'all can see it. This line right here. That actually says, live long and prosper in ancient Vulcan. I have the Star Trek emblem. And I had my mom's birthday and the day she passed away in star dates on my arm. So, yeah. So, yeah. All right. What's up, Miss Gail? Samantha. Ready? Angel Anarchy. Move away from control. Shitful shadow side. Balance your good, bad, and ugly. And unicorn shit fight. Ground yourself now. I love this one. I'm so sorry. Because everybody wants to watch a unicorn shit fight. All right. I'm sorry that you lost your mom. A lot of us, I think a lot of us here are probably in the same age range. And unfortunately, a lot of us have lost our mom. It's not ever a club I like welcoming anybody into because it fucking sucks, man. It fucking sucks. And the people that have lost a dad, that fucking sucks too. And I'm not going to lie. When both of your biological parents are gone, that hits in a way that's just weird. It's just weird. Like, I don't even know. I don't even know how to say it. It hits in a way that's just weird. Just weird. All right, let me get this done because I've got Samantha and Sammie, and then you guys need to go to bed. I need to go to bed. Just is what it is. All right, ready? Move away from control. Balance your good, bad, and ugly, and ground yourself now. All right. I feel like this is like a twofold thing. A, I feel like you have somebody that is trying to exude a lot of control over you. And B, I kind of feel like you know this, that there is something coming with this situation with this person, and you're trying to get ready for it. I think preparation is key. We're kind of going to start with unicorn shit fight. I think preparation is key. And if you haven't really started hardcore preparing, I would highly, highly, highly recommend that you start hardcore preparing. Whether this is to get out of a situation, like to move, or to get a new job, or to get away from this, whatever this is, I think that you feel the hammer coming down on whatever is going on. So I'm just going to say again, preparation is key. Start doing every single thing you can right now to get prepared for this. Okay? The move away from control aspect. To be honest, I think that that's kind of going to work itself out whenever this hammer hits. But until then, you need to start doing everything you can. And this is part of the preparation. But to work with yourself on letting go and moving away from things. Does that make sense? I would recommend doing some shadow work prompts, because that also comes with this balance your good, bad, and your ugly. Doing some shadow work prompts, especially when it comes to, I don't know if this is a relationship or a job, because it's something that's intertwined a lot personally for you. I would recommend doing some shadow work prompts. Literally just some of the free ones that you can, that you can find online. And I would only put them in a notebook, write them down somewhere if you're confident that notebook is not going to be compromised. Does that make sense? Because I know sometimes certain relationships, you don't have privacy. You don't have privacy. When I first started doing shadow work and things like that, I was still married, and I got made fun of all the time. For it. And it made me almost want to stop doing it. So I would find some note program on your phone and put it in there, or make yourself a separate email address that no one knows about. Put it on that Google Drive, like do a Gmail, put it on that Google Drive. I would do every single thing you can to hide that shadow work, but I would start doing it, because when you completely move away from this control, and when this hammer falls and you're able to slide out from underneath it, that's exactly what I would say. And here's the thing. If you do create another Gmail address, don't keep that signed in on your phone. That way no one knows about it. You know what I mean? That way no one knows about it. Been there, done that, and I'm so sorry that you're kind of in this situation. Unfortunately, I think several people here have been in a situation like this. I'm also going to say this. You need to either find someone that you really trust, or you need to find a way where you can open your own bank account that no one else knows about, even if you just keep $100 in there. Just enough to get you gas, to get you out of a situation, if that makes sense. I would really, really, really start preparing, because this unicorn shit fight after these other two, like this whole line seems really heavy. But you need to get yourself in a good space before this happens. Does that make sense? Okay. There are a lot of things that I personally learned I was married to 2 people that were very, very abusive. The first one was only like a year. So that one was much easier to leave than 15 years. There's a lot of things that I learned how to do that I didn't realize I still do it. I still stash money everywhere. Like I stash $20 bills. I always have one in my phone, between my phone and my case. I always have one behind my driver's license. You know what I mean? Like I always have $20 bills just here and here and here and here, just because. That way, if $20, even if gas is $7, that's at least two almost 2.5 gallons of gas. You know what I mean? Like you can at least get away. So think about things like that. You almost have to think about it in like a super secret spy mode. You know what I mean? In like a super secret spy mode, so you can do what you need to do to get out. Make sure that you are safe. Make sure that your kids, your fur babies, all of that are safe. And if you need anything, there's plenty of us that'll be happy to help. I promise. Okay? Start working on you, because when this hammer falls, I want you to be able to just like slide on away and let the hammer squish the bug. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, let the hammer squish the bug. Just saying. Also, I'm just going to say, playing the long game is awesome. It sucks up front, but it's awesome. All right, Sammie, you ready? All right. Sammie was ready. Sammie's card's like, pa-cha, pa-cha, pa-cha. So you have love and light, motherfuckers. And I like that it says just this. And then you have fucked above, fucked below, fucked within. Oh, and then you have the boogeyman bullet, release your fears. Somebody done pissed you off. Because this card right here is like a middle finger. This is like somebody flying their middle finger really high. Love and light, motherfuckers. Just this. This is like you walking off with all the middle fingers in the air. Somebody has 100% pissed Sammie off. They have pissed Sammie off in a way that Sammie has never been pissed off before. And what's funny is, because I also feel like Sammie being pissed off is also this like intense resolve. This intense, crazy resolve. This middle card, the fucked above, fucked below, fucked within. Center yourself, yes. But you can also throw this bitch in a fucking jar. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You can also throw this bitch in the best jar. Thanks, Leanne. Thanks, Leanne. The fears here. Let's talk about that. Because the release your fears, I know, especially for beginners, a lot of people are like, oh, if you do something baneful, it'll come back on you. I can't tell you how many people I get in comments on some baneful videos and stuff like that. And they're like, it'll come back to you. Okay. Guess what? I don't believe in that shit. I believe in an eye for an eye. And if someone does something to me, then I'm going to do something back. Same thing goes here. Release your fears about this, because they have done the shit to you. They have already done the shit to you. That's why you have this. That's why you came out with this card right here. The love and light, motherfuckers. The fuck all the way off. I'm out. See ya. Bye. Like, that's why you came out with that. Because you have hit the point where you are so fucking done that your done is done. Does that make sense? Throw this motherfucker in a jar. Throw him under a candle. Then throw that shit under the bus. I'm just saying. Quit allowing them to rule every single thing. You're done, and you're more done than done can be. Don't stress about if you're going to get karma from putting them in a jar. If you're going to get karma from putting them in a candle. Don't stress about that, because they've already done the shit to you. Walk out with your fingers held high and just say, love and light, motherfuckers, out. Don't stress about what might happen if you put them in a jar, because they've already fucked around and now they need to find out. Now they need to find out. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Y'all, and Sammie, I know that you didn't hear all of that, but before you guys start stressing about spell work, stressing about doing anything or karma or whatever, make sure that you know about protections. Make sure that you know all about, or at least have a good base of what the different moon phases mean and how to word your stuff, how to word your intentions, and so on. And then I also want you to ask yourself this. Are you Christian? Even if you grew up Christian and you still have a relationship with the Holy Spirit, etc., then the answer is yes, okay? You can be a Christian witch. If you're Christian, then yes, the tenfold law applies. So, if they've already done shit to you, then they get tenfold what they've put out. Yes? Yes? So do the goddamn jar. Do the goddamn candle. Throw that bitch in the fucking dumpster. Are you Wiccan? Do you practice Wicca? Not witchcraft or paganism or heathenism? Or are you Wiccan? Do you follow that doctrine? If so, that is the threefold law. Which means whatever they've done to you, it's going to come back on them threefold. Do the jar. Do the candle. Fuck that motherfucker. Are you neither of those things? Do you believe in karma? If so, they've already done the thing. You know what I'm going to say? Let them get their karma. Do the jar. Do the candle. And if you don't believe in karma, do the jar and do the candle. Everybody stresses about it so much because people are told you have to be all love and light. You have to be, you have to put out good and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not saying go and just be bad all the time. I'm not saying go and just be I'm not saying that, okay? I mean, sometimes it's called for. But, I mean, not ever. But you can never, ever be all one way or the other. To actually be a solid practitioner, to be someone whose words and intention and spell work carry more oomph and weight, to grow in your practice, you cannot be all light and you cannot be all dark. The absolute most powerful practitioners that ever lived and ever will live are gray. They're balanced. They're in the middle. I can always tell where someone is in their practice by what they say they do. Whether it's love and light, white magic, whether it's baneful, black magic, or whether they're gray or balanced in the middle. The universe itself is balance. Think about it. There's a wildfire. There's a storm. Do you see what I'm saying? The universe itself is balance. Every single thing that ever existed in the universe has something equal and opposite of it. You cannot have good without bad. You cannot have dark without light. Male without female. Yin without yang. You can't have those things. Because, and I know somebody out there is like, oh, the genders. No, it has nothing to do with that. How would you know what female was if you didn't know what male was? How would you know what black was if you didn't know what white was? How would you know what dark was if you didn't know what light was? How would you know what good was if you didn't know what bad was? The universe is balance. If you are a practitioner and you're just starting out, please, please, please do the love and light phase. Do it. Do it. I'm never ever going to tell you not to do it. Okay? Do it. But know that one day you'll catch yourself swinging over to the dark side and suddenly, you no longer look like cute fairy boho Stevie Nicks. You look like badass, maleficent Stevie Nicks. And you're ready to hex everybody. And you're ready to burn it to the ground. And live there for a little bit. Seriously, listen to me. Live there for a little bit. And you'll notice yourself naturally swing back to the middle. And there are going to be times when you swing one way and you swing the other. Because just like a pendulum is never going to stay straight in the middle. There are going to be times the universe needs you to be love and light. They need you to be the protector. They need you, the universe needs you to be the one that spreads love, that spreads hope. And then there are times that you need to be the emperor. There are times that you are 100% the nothing in the never-ending story. And you're going to smash every fucking thing that comes in front of you. I woke up yesterday 100% in villain mode. I am ready to be the villain this week. Saturday, we doing baneful workings. We doing banishings. We doing all the shit. You can't ever stay in one phase or another. You will always be doing this. So when that happens, when you feel this way, when you feel this way, when you feel this way, feel it. Feel it. Be it. Practice it. Practice love and light. Practice the dark shit. Practice balance. I feel like I sounded like Yoda. Balance it must practice. Light is must be. So the dark it can be too. Come on, that was funny. Come on now. Be balanced. Sometimes balance is very lopsided. And you will always swing back to the other side, I promise. Okay? With that, my dears, I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to get off of here. Y'all go to bed. Go do your thing. Go nerd around. Go go play a game, whatever it is that you want to do. So, yeah. All right. I love you guys, and I will see y'all tomorrow.